Okay then, ladies and gentlemen, we are back for the second game. Sorry, let me just get everything up and running. There we go. We are back for the second game of the Join Dota League European Division semi-final. It is Rox.Kis against Cloud9, with Rox.Kis getting a very decisive first victory. And I'm joined again by Metamorphosis. How you doing, man?
I'm doing very well. We had a very first exciting match, and I'm hopefully looking for a second one here as well.
Yeah, what do you think of the band so far? I mean, this is what I was expecting from the first match, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, these are standard tier 1 bans. You have the Ember, the Naga, the Lycan, the Invoker. It's a standard banning phase that we're seeing coming out. You don't want those heroes in the pool because they cause havoc in any situation.
Cloud9 kind of using the opportunity of first pick to pick up the Batrider though, and I think that, I mean, we saw him banned out in those first 4 in the first match, and it does not surprise me that that he's their first pickup. Great initiation, great team fight, even great counter push. I think when you consider the amount of damage he can do just from laying all those flames everywhere. And Rox.Kis again going straight for the Centaur Shadow Demon combo. Are we going to see that mid again?
I'm wondering if I'm expecting that we're going to see that mid again. Having said that, it won't be as effective against the Batrider because, especially with the stacks of napalm, it's going to be very hard to move towards him. A big part of it as well, I think Rox.Kis have a very good lineup because the Batrider is not someone who likes to be initiated on. He's an initiator. But if he's initiated on, then it becomes very hard to counter it. And the Centaur does that. The Centaur blinks in and stomps. And that basically will disrupt the Batrider.
In addition to disruption, of course, that will also disrupt that. I'm sorry, couldn't resist. I mean, that said, I for those exact reasons that you just mentioned, I really like the Mirana. The counter initiation is amazing. You just immediately pop the invis. It's, you know, still got your 2 seconds of fade time, and I think Centaur is the perfect person to try and nuke someone down before that fade time has lapsed. But it is a great global counter initiation.
Yeah, and with the recent update to Mirana as well and her leap, she's becoming quite a favorite, not only in Pro Dota but in Pub Data as well. So. And you know, they can lane her safe lane, they can lane her off lane, they can do many things with her, so she's quite a flexible hero. And those 2 pickups from Cloud9 are basically what was banned in the last game.
Very true, very true. We're seeing the Bane and the Abaddon now appear in the ban pool. I mean, both I think very good supports. Bane just naturally because his ult go through BKB, Abaddon because of the huge survivability he would give, and I can see why they're banning him. I mean, imagine Abaddon Centaur. You just love to run that.
Yeah, that's gonna be a very dangerous lineup. You have 2 of the biggest, basically strengthiest tanks in the game. The Bane ban was a very smart ban because obviously you don't want the whole nightmare into a Mirana arrow, but at the same time, his ult does go through a BKB and does guarantee lockdown. So if it was a question of Centaur trying to tank the towers like he did last game, the Bane could just walk up to him and ult him. And in that situation, you can take the Centaur down and then focus on the other heroes on the map.
I also like the Abaddon ban because it reflects. You wouldn't have seen it in 6.8. This is a 6.81 ban. They're banning that on the basis of the whole. When he gets Ags, his ult now absorbs 35% of the damage that his nearby allies take. Now that, on top of a Centaur, is really terrifying. I mean, like,
you know what I really want to see is a Kotal Ags, because now
there is
Illuminate.
Isn't it Nags?
Yeah, no, but the thing is, with the recent updates as well, his Illuminate is going to heal 75% of the damage that it causes to his allied heroes within the Illuminate as well.
I really like that. Yeah, like the Phoenix beam.
Yeah, effectively, and especially with the summer update, especially with what's happening recently. What's really fun about watching the pro matches is you see how much that affects the drafting, and there are lots of changes happening at the moment, which, you know, is going to affect the hero pools and the picks and the drafts that we're going to see.
Yeah, and not only that, but of course we are also building up to TI4. Cloud9 are going to be there. Rox.Kis are fighting for their right to be there, and they're certainly, you know, dishing out the pain on Cloud9 right now. there's an interesting mix going on because nobody wants to give away their top secret strategies. Those are saved for the international. That's the rule. If you come up with an awesome combo in the next couple of months, you don't play it in pubs, you don't play it in tournaments, you save it for the international. And at the same time, we've just had an update, so nobody really can have tested too much of this stuff.
And nobody wants to test them, as you mentioned, in professional matches, because
I mean, this patch came out yesterday. These teams need a couple
of
weeks in their gamer houses, just shut up doing nothing to really come up. At the moment, we're still seeing 6.8 picks. I think there are some bans coming out because we're more afraid of 6.81, but this is still a very 6.8 draft on the whole.
And like what's interesting, even in the 6.8, we saw some hero creeping back into the tier 1 drop and the tier 1 drafts and picks that weren't there before. For example, the Naga. After TI1, Naga completely dropped off the map and became a support.
Well,
but
unless you were Miracle. Unless you were Science Miracle, in which case all holds, all better off, all holds unbarred.
Yeah, but like recently we've been seeing her picked up more and more and more, which is, it's really interesting. It's the diversity that we're seeing at the moment is absolutely huge, and especially with the updates that keep coming, it's creating massive game-changing drafts that we're seeing at the moment. Speaking of the draft, Cloud9 picked up the Wraith King, which I find really, really interesting.
Good interesting or bad interesting?
Good interesting, because I was watching the game where Empire played against Dog a few days ago, I believe, and Team Dog picked up the Wraith King and they won with it. And it's unusual to see a Wraith King carry, but it's dangerous. A Wraith King with a blink, he becomes an incredible lockdown, and especially with his ult as well, he's very hard to counter if he's played right.
I mean, I can kind of see the blink initiation from Wraith King, with a nice resurrection slow and all the rest of it. But I gotta say, I think my favorite initiator now is the Vengeful Spirit. Apparently there's a bug where if she dies to creeps rather than heroes, it can glitch the entire game. But that aside, I just absolutely love it. The idea that if you die, it's amp damage on everybody around you. That just fits so well with her ult.
Yeah, and I think a big part, especially, you were mentioning that, and because as part of the Wave International, we quite like running the Vengeful Spirit as a support. You hardly see her in pub games because she has such a low range and everything like that, but we do love the Vengeful Spirit, so it's great to see that update basically affect her in such a huge way and making her a contender for a support as well.
I mean, I think that's why she had dropped off. I don't think we're going to be seeing her in this game, especially with this Dazzle and Rubik pickup. In fact, let's talk about that. Let's do this properly. I do like the Rubik. There's a lot of decent stuff to steal out there from Rox.Kis, pretty much from the get-go. All the way through the game, there are going to be powerful abilities on their side.
Having said that, that Dazzle pickup is not something that you'd want to give to Rox.Kis. I mean, we saw how dangerous the Centaur Shadow Demon combo is. Add on top of that the heals that's going to come out from Dazzle, the Shallow Grave as well, the Weave. You have a massive tank in Centaur, and the last thing you want is for someone to stand behind him who can heal him every few seconds. So that's going to give them a lot more power, a lot more initiation, and a lot more tank, basically.
Absolutely. I mean, Weave plus Luna, that's already terrifying just by itself. I think Cloud9 kind of had an option here. They needed to ban out something that would really beef up the enemy team, and they chose to go with the Abaddon. And I don't think that was a bad choice, but it was definitely a later game choice. Like, Dazzle's going to be able to give them that beef right from the very beginning. Abaddon, okay, Aphotic Shield, I get it, but I think Dazzle's the early game choice, if you know what I mean. And I kind of think that works better for what Rox.Kis have. I would prefer to Dazzle back.
I really think Cloud9 should run an aggro try. I mean, they have the Wraith King, who has the Vampiric Aura at the moment, so he can heal. You have the Rubik with his Disable, with his Telekinesis. So it will be, if you pick up another support, you could run the Mirana safe, so you can get her farm without having to worry about anything. And run an aggro try, who will be pretty much quite tanky and quite durable, and will be able to deal with anything that's being thrown at them.
Yeah, I mean, Wraith King, certainly that Vampiric Aura works amazingly on aggressive tries. The Tidehunter being picked up here. Alright, who's mid for Rox.Kis?
I think they're going to run a Centaur mid again. I mean, they could run the Tidehunter against the Bat. Having said that, I mean, that lane will be won by the Bat easily, especially as we mentioned with the Napalm stacks that he has. Tide is quite tanky, but he won't be able to deal with that.
And of course
I don't think...
5 seconds.
Oh, I thought Kraken Shell gave magic resistance. Obviously, I'm wrong. It's purely physical. Yeah, I mean, I do like it, but it's going to be Centaur Shadow Demon mid again, I think, unless they're planning Centaur Dazzle, but I think that makes less sense. And I kind of agree with you. That's going to struggle against a Bat, but with March of the Machines, I honestly thought they'd struggle against the Tinker last game.
Having said that, they picked up the TA, and Sing Sing is going on that, so I think the TA is going to go mid this game.
You're right.
Chances are we might have a tri-lane with Bat, Wraith King, and Rubik, and a Mirana solo.
Yeah, could be. Or Mirana could even take the support role, and Batrider could do the
Yeah,
solo.
exactly. I mean, a lift, a telekinesis into an arrow, that could work very well as well.
I mean, I'm thinking what we're going to be seeing here is
10 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, I really like the TA pickup. You know, Refraction's going to work so well against the Central Warrunner Stomp double-edge combo. That said, Shadow Demon, of course, does give a decent amount of DOT as well in the lane, and that will knock off the charges very, very quickly. Quick pause coming out from Owie 2000. I think they might have picked up the wrong heroes or something. Oh no, but that switch happened over on the Rox.Kis side. Very strange. Much wow.
It might be the same as, if you remember in TI3, Na'Vi did that, where they picked up heroes and they changed them in the game without anyone noticing.
I do remember that, and I mean, you know, it's not wrong. It's, I guess, a legit strategy. And I think we can move on to introducing the teams now. So I'll go for C9. Wait, you want to introduce C9? Alright, you go first. Start off on the Rubik.
Okay.
Left to right.
We have Pylai on the Rubik at the moment. We have Tiger, who's Eternal Envy, on the Mirana. Sing Sing on the Templar Assassin. Owie 2000 on the Wraith King, who's going to be a support. And Bone 7 on the Batrider.
Nice little line up there. Having a quick look over, given that we don't seem to have any massive opening smoke ganks coming out from either team, I can go straight over to the Rox.Kis side. We got 6-3-3 running out again on the Centaur Warrunner, hoping to put on as good a show as he did last time, and doesn't look to be heading mid. On the Luna, we've got Solo. She's going to be running solo mid. That makes sense, I guess. The Dazzle being played by Yol. We've got Tidehunter now being played by Seedoy, looking, I think, to head down to the off lane. Pretty traditional role for him. And on the Shadow Demon, we have Goblak. He's going to be supporting the Centaur again. Looks like a dual safe lane, I want to say. And the only real question in my mind is whether or not the Dazzle is going to be supporting mid, or is just waiting there to hope out for a gank.
Yeah, I think it's going to be very difficult to Luna to go up against the Templar Assassin mid, simply because with the side blades and considering Luna's range, she will get easily harassed by Templar Assassin.
Rubik securing the top rune position, but it ends up spawning bot. That's an illusion rune for anybody who can pick it up, and it looks like it's going to be Dazzle. And we are seeing a dual mid coming out again from Rox.Kis. No, we're not. That's Pylai, sorry, from C9. But we're not. It's just Pylai making his way down to the bot lane.
I think, I mean, it's standard seeing the Dazzle here, especially with the illusion rune, trying to phase out the early farm for the Templar Assassin.
And I mean, I've got to say, you know, the thing that you need to deal with those refraction charges is some damage over time, and Poison Touch is most certainly that.
Yeah, but also the Poison Touch got, I would say, debuffed, if you would say so, because it doesn't have the mini stun with it anymore.
Pylai comes in beautifully here, manages to get a lift up on Seedoy, but just so tanky, does take an arrow to the face, so this might be first blood. They're getting a lot of damage down, and it's Owie 2000 who manages to pick off the kill.
I've still got it.
And it is definitely the, yes, it is carrying Mirana. She's going for the last hits. I find it slightly strange then that Owie got the kill there. He could quite easily have left that for Mirana.
I think he might be going Midas.
Really?
It really does feel. I mean, like, what you need is for Wraith King to hit the level 3 arm. Once the reincarnation gets to about a minute, that's when he starts becoming quite effective. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's going to be in the jungle, but at the moment.
Oh my god, I cannot believe I left the
Yeah, you have a filter over the picture, I'm being told.
I cannot believe I keep doing that. In the meantime, let's have a quick look at the last hits and denies. It's 9-5 for Luna and Centaur, both of them. Oh jeez, my mouse is really causing problems here. Batrider gets picked off. Assist going out to Dazzle and Luna. That's going to be a decent amount of farm for her, and it does kind of look like it might be a dual mid.
Yeah, I mean they're being incredibly effective at fading out the Templar Assassin, but that, as I mentioned, you can see what the side blades are doing at the moment. It's going to start to fade away soon enough if they're not too careful about it.
Absolutely correct, yeah. Decent last hits coming out for the Mirana as well. She's sitting on 12. But alright, so who do you reckon's in the lead so far in this game? Who's got the edge? Who's making the money?
I think a big part of it is going to come down to that Centaur's farm. They really need to rotate ganks towards the Centaur. You really don't want him to pick up that head, you don't want him to pick up that heart.
And they're actually going to be going on the Batrider up top and managed to pick him off as well. That's 2 deaths now on the Batrider. 1 from an attempted gank on mid, 1 just from being picked off while attempting to contest the jungle farm. And that's actually going to feed the Centaur quite nicely, as he's going to be able to get a whole bevy of last hits here.
Yeah, I mean in the last game we saw the Luna and the Centaur on the opposing team, but now that we see them on the same side, if they're not being too careful, yeah, with the Centaur tanking all the damage, the Luna ult can go quite nicely. I mean, you could double edge the creeps.
We've got
and
another
there'll be
disruption
nothing to contest the Luna ult.
Oh, that's so much damage coming out on Bone 7 there. Disruption into Stomp. Doesn't manage to be, well, he's not dead, but he's almost dead. He had just come back from base. And Centaur actually put down his treads before going in there. I mean, I personally think that trick is more risk than it's worth. You know, you avoid taking the last hit and keep the tranquil boots constantly healing you. You know, when you pick them up again, they're just ready to go. But I've seen them get sniped, and that's, you know, 1,000 gold that you're not going to see again.
I've seen that being done with a Wraith King in the jungle, and there was a bounty hunter, and the bounty hunter just kept denying the tranquil boots every single time, and poor Wraith King had to buy 3 tranquil boots. As you mentioned, I mean, we're seeing a rotation. As I said, you want to shut that Centaur down very quickly. You don't want him to get those tanky items, and we're seeing a rotation coming from the Wraith King and the Rubik. Hopefully that will lead to a kill.
Centaur, I mean, they kind of picked the wrong time a little bit, though. Shadow Demon, yeah, Goblak's going to spot them out here very easily.
Dire's top tower
He
is under
was
attack.
very aggressive there. I would have thought he would be looking to back off. Goblak going to go down. Centaur, of course, surviving. That's not the kill they wanted. It's the kill they're going to have to accept. But they are also looking like they might be able to turn this into quite a nice bit of push. Batrider very effectively drawing off that next creep wave. That's already down. We'll be looking at a push coming up here.
Yeah, I mean, very much. I mean, Morana's farm, Eternal Envy on the Morana, his farm is quite secure at the moment. He might actually get a kill as well.
I was going to say it all comes down to that next arrow, but why is he choosing to back off? Didn't have the mana for it. Dazzle TPing in. But nice harass coming out on the Tidehunter. We also have, yep, Seedoy looking to get back into lane. Beautiful Mirana mount, actually. I'm not going to... Alright, very quickly.
Dire's middle
Absolutely
tower
beautiful.
is being
Noctis, the
attacked.
Heavenly Quillin Guardian. Quillin, because it's covered in quills. because Dota items are all so originally named. Rubik getting some decent warding out, now looking to secure a side pool. Love the offlane side pool.
Yeah, I think a big part of it, I mean, both teams are not contesting the farm and the jungle by putting some wards in, which, you know, I find quite strange. I mean, why are you allowing Rox.Kis to get all the jungle farm when you could just put down a couple sentries?
Yeah, Seedoy in trouble on the bot very quickly. He was going in there to contest a little bit of AoE's jungle farm, but he's going to end up just being food for the Mirana. I mean, that was swift and merciless right there. Not entirely sure why he thought he could trade blows with the Wraith King. Does not have his ult up yet. Doesn't even have level 4. Youch. That's kind of awful. I mean, you know, it's been a very, very tough offlane for him. Very, very hard time.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be a question of hitting those level 6. Once the Wraith King hits that level 6, I wonder if we're going to see a push on a tower to try to kind of use that reincarnation, maybe push something down, grab an advantage. Or are they just going to stay back and still farm it?
Dire's bottom tower is being attacked.
I mean, what we're seeing here is really interesting as well. Bone 7 on the Bat Rider decided to kind of semi-abandon the top lane because he died a couple of times there, and he's kind of retired towards the Radiant jungle to try and farm it up as much as possible.
I mean, that's definitely a legitimate way to secure a little bit of farm on your Bat Rider. It's
yeah, but I mean, the last thing that you'd want is to leave a level 4 Rubik in front of a level 8 Centaur.
Oh, ouch. Level 8. I mean,
that's, you know, that's not that. I mean, if Centaur decides to go on this, it's going to be very, very hard to Rubik to run away from it.
I mean, as you say that, we've got Luna rotating in from the other side of the lane. I'm kind of surprised we didn't see a stampede earlier, much earlier. In fact, I kind of think 633 could have taken out that Rubik, no problem at all.
Yeah, and he's like on 2,000 gold, so he's about 100 away from his blink at the moment.
On the meantime, though, Seedoy gets taken out again down on the bot lane. He's having a really hard time of this.
That is a very, very effective lane. I mean, with the guaranteed stun that's coming out from the Wraith King with his Vampiric Aura, as well as the Mirana arrow, you know, you can do a lot.
And we do actually have the Centaur Stampede finally coming out, finishes off the Rubik up on the top lane. I mean, it had to happen. It was bound to happen. It was just sitting there, begging to happen. And now we've got a double damage lead. Luna going to get a bit of damage on the tower here. Glyph forced out. I think that was a wise call. There's no other lanes that are desperately in need of attention anywhere else, or likely to be.
Denied.
I mean, what do you think of this? It seems like we got Yol attempting to slow down the TA's farm mid. We really haven't seen a huge number of rotations yet from Sing Sing. That could be a bit of a game changer when it starts to happen.
Yeah, but I mean, he's in terms of the farm, he's sitting way, way behind at the moment because of the pressure that the Dazzle put on him in the earlier game. So it's natural that his rotation hasn't happened as quickly as possible. He does have a Hand of Midas though, so that might be it as well.
Yep, absolutely. I'm certainly hoping we see some key plays coming out there, rather than just the Mirana and Wraith King. Okay, they're under cover of Moonlight Shadow, slightly more understandable, but just constantly feeding off this Tidehunter.
Middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, I mean, this Rubik is about to go down as well. I mean, he's being sandwiched. There's a Dazzle, there's a Luna, there's a Centaur.
Just manages to put it off. I think he was doing a nice bit of lane leaning there, making sure he was staying away from that entrance from the secret shop. Otherwise, that would have been very, very quick. Very, very over. Well, looks like 633 was wondering whether or not they could afford to go on TA there. I think correctly saying that, nope, probably just not possible.
And I'm wondering whether the choice to pick up a Midas has something to do with the amount of attack that's coming out. So he wants to damage, and he wants the damage items. He wants to farm them up as quickly as possible. So he decided to go for a Midas, just in case those long sieges happen again.
Yeah, it's a bit of a gamble, I think. Rox.Kis do have a very effective early game team. I mean, if that Tidehunter hadn't been shut down quite so much and had his ult by now, that would be scary. That would be really scary.
Yeah, but in return, you have the Wraith King ult. So, you know, I mean, you might have tanks and initiations coming out from Rox.Kis, but you have the Wraith King who can just go in and go, I'm fine with it, fight me, kill me, I don't mind because I'm coming back in 5 seconds. And in the meanwhile, you'll be slowed for long enough for my team to start taking you down.
Yeah, I mean, okay, well, you wouldn't choose to initiate straight on the Wraith King, though, would you? I mean, that's kind of my problem with Wraith King. It often turns into a situation of, okay, you killed me, I'll be coming back in a second, but by the time he comes back, his entire team is dead. And he just gets finished off for a second time without too much fuss. That's my experience of it, anyway. I'm not a huge Wraith King fan. We get a nice blink initiation onto Goblak from the Batrider, which is actually quite interesting given that we had Centaur and Dazzle both looking to come in and gank there. They do manage to turn it around, finishing off the Wraith King for its first life anyway. And now it's Yol, kind of in a little bit of trouble here. Astonishing that that Shadow Demon managed to get out, but he does manage to make a TP. Beautiful play there from Yol. Did anyone die there? No, right?
No,
Wraith
no
King
one
lost his ult.
Shadow Demon, Shadow Demon TP'd out and so did Dazzle. But you saw the potential of that team fight. I mean, if they had one more person there, and you saw what the Centaur did, he just looked at that and he was like, I'm walking away from this. I can't do anything here.
I'm outie. I'm outie, owie. Because we have to have more puns. Tiger now, sorry. Dude, Eternal Envy really just harassing the Tidehunter out of lane. They're getting some decent damage down on this top tower. But we do look like we're getting some rotations in from Rox.Kis. They're not going to let this go on for too much longer uncontested.
I mean, Luna does have an Alpha Wolf. She does have a role, so...
Highlight
might be, if he gets spotted out.
Oh, but we do have a nice rotation coming in from Rox.Kis. They almost managed to take out the Wraith King while his ult was down. Sadly, unsuccessful. Nice TP out there from him. Highlight Eye, I mean, he's being baller. I'll give him that. Nice initiation from Bone 7. Blinks in, hooks up the Seedoy. There's Ravage. Followed up by the Eclipse from Luna. Shallow Grave on Tidehunter. Gonna see him safe. Solo didn't wait around to pop off that final Lucent Beam, which I think would have won the Batrider kill. Instead backs up and ends up going down. Rox.Kis definitely losing the pace of this match a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, Sing Sing on that TA, the damage output from her is going to be massive, and as you've mentioned, your experience of a Wraith King tends to be bad, but that's simply because you don't have enough people to have that damage output. But with the Morana, with the Templar Assassin, there's going to be huge amounts of damage coming out. So even though Aui's going to blink in and die first, it's not going to be a huge problem for him because his team will kill everyone else while that is happening.
Yeah, very true, very true. Goblak with an Invis Rune, pretty much just scouting out the carries on the C9 team. Gonna back out now. I mean, there's no way they're gonna go in there. They just want to keep tabs on where Wraith King and TA are. TA also now moving off the mid lane. And yeah, she's got boots up. Next item will be damage. Each 2.5k gold as well. 2.9, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, if he was going for a blink, he would have picked it up by now. I have no idea what he's going for. I mean, he might be saving for a buyback, but even if he was saving for a buyback, he doesn't need 3,000 gold.
The only thing I can think is that he's going for a butterfly.
Oh, there's a rotation, or he just wants to
straight back by a BKB, maybe? Nice from Highlight Eye. They really want this this Luna. And they might just get her. There's a nice stun coming out. There's the Centaur ult. Luna does pop hers, but manages to get taken out before she can get into the trees and really start to juke away. Aoi not even going to let the Centaur live. That's just brutal.
He's like, no, I want him. I want him. He might get punished for that.
The Centaur blink manages to miss. Aoi with his own blink, easily able to escape any danger. Meanwhile, down on the bot lane, C9 also taking chunks out of Tidehunter yet again. They're not letting up this match. Morana securing another kill on Goblak. Bone 7 now looking to just get rid of these nasty
Aoi might go down here.
Well, he should have his... Oh no, ult! 21 seconds gets the blink off. That was Wow.
Bottom tower is under siege.
That was a chance to make a difference there. Everything a support dreams of.
I think this game is going more smoothly towards Cloud9's favor. They're sitting back, they're farming, they're doing what they do well in this game. I mean, I have no idea what this Templar Assassin doing. She has almost 4k gold at the moment, and she hasn't bought anything. I think she might go straight up Deso.
How much would that be? She could buy that with 3k gold. 4k gold. Right? 3.2
BKB. No, she got her
900.
BKB.
Yeah, okay. It was a BKB rush. I mean, I kind of like that because you're leaving it open. She wasn't in any huge danger, and you know, if they'd seen the Ogre Club pick up and then whatever else, it would have been very obvious what was going to go on.
Yeah, and Aoi, 2000 Aoi. Why do I keep saying that? He does have his ult up, so they might be thinking about pushing another tower, maybe initiating somewhere they're smoked up. So you'll get to see that reincarnation going to work.
There's the stun, comes down on Seedoy. Is there going to be a Ravage? It's up. There's a Centaur Stomp from Sing Sing, on Sing Sing, sorry. Ravage comes out, stolen by Pylai. Beautiful counter Ravage. And then the Lunar Ult comes out though. She's still got a decent amount of health. Aoi chasing down Yol. Bone 7 backing up as well, and it's the Dazzler and the Tidehunter that have fallen so far. 6-3-3 really wants to have a repeat of the last game where he was just absolutely dominating, but doesn't look like he's going to get it. Finished off very, very nicely by the Batrider. 3-0. 3-0. I mean, like, huge respect for Rox.Kis if they can come back for this, but as you said, it's just going so smoothly for C9 as we get a blink stun coming out from Wraith King, and that's the end of Goblack as well. Wraith King 3 for 0, 7 assists.
This is what happens. You don't focus the Wraith King, you get punished for it. You focus the Wraith King, he's coming back in 5 seconds, and his team has a huge amount of damage output.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Is it an attack slow as well, or just a movement slow? Oh,
yeah,
it's a massive
the
attack
reincarnation,
slow as well. Yeah.
It gives...
It's huge, 75.
The Luna might go down here.
Oh wow! Finishing off the Mirana.
That was a 1v1
up at the top lane. I missed
Tiger.
that.
Eternal MV managed to land an arrow. He went in, but he didn't count on the charges from the magic wand, which saved solo.
Oh, well played. Lots of contention on the bot. Rune and Sing Sing just gets basically. It literally looked like he was run over there by Centaur. Like actually, straight up. Oh, sorry. Didn't see you there. Ran over you by mistake. And those are the kind of kills that might just turn the tides for Rox.Kis. A couple of nice pickoffs before the tier 3s or the racks go down. And a couple more key items come out. Maybe they can do something. Unfortunately, of course, those key items are coming out harder and faster on the C9 side. We just saw Batrider get Blink. Mirana has picked up Maelstrom.
Yeah, and Batrider has a BKB as well. There are lots of BKBs coming out at the moment.
Oh, and we've got Pylai and Aoi. They're going to finish off Goblack again. Moonlight Shadow actually kind of used defensively there. Totally unnecessary. The arrow is flying. It's going to miss, but Batrider manages to pick up the slack. Finishes off Yol very, very quickly. We've got another Blink coming out from Wraith King. Does manage to hit Seedoy. Are they? There's Anchor Smash. They need another stun. They need something. They've got Batrider. All that is needed. In the meantime, TP in from 633. He's a little bit late really to help out in this team fight. And in fact, it looks like Cloud9 might just go solo hunting. Oh no, they've turned around. They want to finish off 633, who's desperately trying to get some damage in, knowing that his teammates are on the way. We've got Goblack coming in now. Manages to get down a decent slow. There's the weave as well. And we've got Luna coming in from the other side. They do manage to take out Aoi 2000 and Mirana. Beautiful play there from Rox.Kis. Whew. Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, Cloud9 got greedy there. You had your kills, you know, you could have walked away from this, but you decided not to. You decided to go for the Centaur, and they got punished for it massively by losing their farm carry and one of the supports. And it looks like they're going to lose Roshan as well.
I was going to say, yeah, I mean, if you look at the... oh, but here comes Bat. He's not going to be really able to do much here other than just annoy them. I was going to say, if you look at the graphs, that little fight for C9 really didn't count for much. But if they can take a Roshan off it, then things get much more interesting. I've also just been informed that 633 is BZZ, so apologies for that. That's BZZ from here on out.
Yeah, and we saw there the bat. I mean, he walked in. He used a full 10-second BKB charge just to disrupt that Roshan attempt. Because if Luna got that Aegis, it would have made a huge difference to the team fight potential of Rox.Kis. So, you know, most people would go, no, it's fine, but it was smart of him to go in and do that.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, all they needed to do was make sure that the Wraith King and the TA and the Mirana were all up and all had enough time to kind of get vaguely into position, and then Rox.Kis would back out. They wouldn't risk that. So just going in there and distracting for a little while, I think that was a valid strategy. I think Rox.Kis could almost have just ignored it and just kept going on the Roche. It was either that or give up completely.
The thing is, though, yeah, I mean, you kind of don't want to risk a confrontation at that stage, especially when you know Wraith King died last time, so probably his ult is up by now. So, having said that, I just looked at the Centaur's build at the moment, and considering what he built last game to what he built this game, I'm not sure I agree with this. Why does he? I mean, I can understand why he has a mechanism, but he shouldn't have built it.
Goblet gets picked off very quickly. I would agree with you there. He doesn't seem to be the natural mech carrier there. I mean, Tide is the one who could really have done with an early ring of regen and a few more GG branches. Admittedly, Tide is still really struggling to get to his Blink Dagger, but rather than a Drum of Endurance...
Radiant's top tower has been destroyed. Dire's bottom tower.
But I mean, this is what happens when you get massive pressure put on you early game, I suppose. Rox.Kis are kind of not coming apart at the seams in a hugely bad or serious way, but frayed edges. You're beginning to see frayed edges in some of the choices and what they're forced to do.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the last hits and denies, Luna is at the top of the table with 166 last hits. Having said that, the next three positions go to Mirana, Templar Assassin, and Batrider. So, in terms of farm, Rox.Kis have fallen massively behind.
Yeah. There we go, Blink Initiation coming out from 633, manages to get the stomp off but not the double edge as he's lifted. There comes the ult from Seedoy. I don't think it's going to be enough though, so much damage coming out from this Batrider. Yol almost down just from that alone. Who picked up the Aegis? Templar Assassin managed to grab the Aegis, so it didn't manage to go out on the Wraith King. They're going to rely on his passive resurrection for that. Mirana just getting snipes off from the background. That is kind of offensive and rude, but then gets killed very nicely. 3 down now for Cloud9, only 2 down for Rox.Kis. That was
No, Centaur had a buyback. He did go down in that team fight.
He did. All right, 3 for 3 then.
Radiant's middle tower is being
Bone
attacked.
7 managing to get out. I'm kind of surprised Tide is being this aggressive. Really am. I mean,
we saw a really nice team fight. I love the Rubik's Steel as well. He still tied his ult and he used it again, but they were caught out completely out of position. The Templar got focused down by the Luna, and she was kind of separated from the rest of her team. So, you know, I mean, unfortunately.
Oh, YOLO getting picked out. I thought he might make it out, but the Wraith King rotated in so quickly. That was really nice play.
Radiant's top tower is being attacked.
Regeneration.
I mean, this is just relentless Dota right here. I gotta say, I mean, massive respect for Rox.Kis there. Given that they had Wraith King's Reincarnation and TA picking up the Aegis, I'm really impressed they managed to go 3 for 3 in that fight. Really impressed.
Yeah. I mean, the Aegis, you're not counting the Aegis and the Wraith King.
Stun down on Goblak. They managed to finish him off. That was huge, and Eternal Envy wants to take out Seedoy as well. They do have the was Lasso used there? Lasso was used. Not to much effect. BZZ at the same time managing to finish off the Rubik around the sidelines, but I don't think that's going to be enough to stop them from taking this tower.
Dire's structures have been fortified.
There's a beautiful arrow comes out, just misses Seedoy. Beautiful Centaur Stomp. Double edge, not quite enough damage. Gosh, is, and that's going to be a decent amount of golden XP for the Tide Hunter, and he really needs it.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Bone 7, he's caught out. He's dead. He's dead. And now, I mean, we were saying earlier in the game, I think, that the late game, I mean, less so than in the previous match, but the late game is a little bit swayed here. I kind of prefer Rox.Kis' late game. Not sure you would agree.
Yeah, I mean, the Rox.Kis' late game is absolutely great. I mean, we saw the early pickups of the BKB from the Batrider and the Templar Assassin, and now she's building into a damage item. The big problem that I've had with the Centaur is the mech build. I mean, if you would have gone for a pipe, I mean, I appreciate that there's more physical damage that's coming out from the Mirana and the Templar Assassin, but you need that hood because it gives you so much regen. The mech doesn't give you the same amount of regen, which is a problem.
Yeah, I don't know if I would have gone for the... sorry, I'm just getting reports that some people are seeing my stream is offline. I'm personally seeing it as online, so I'm slightly confused about that. I'm going to be a bit distracted for a sec, Meta, if you want to cover the action.
Yeah, I'll cover the action and I'll cover the map. I mean, at the moment, both teams are farming their own jungle. I mean, since Grumble Luke is not around, this will be a good time to speak about the stats and the difference in XP earned. At the moment, Cloud9 are about 10,000 ahead in terms of XP earned, and they're about 12,000 ahead in terms of gold earned. So this is a massive steep curve that needs to be recovered, and they're smoke ganking at the moment. They've committed with the Mirana ult. Will we see a gank? Batrider blinks in, lassos the Luna, she gets disrupted, but she's going to go down very, very quickly at the moment. Rox.Kis is deciding to back away, but the Centaur gets caught by Ari 2000 with a stun. Mirana goes in for more, but there's no one around.
I mean, this is just, yeah, a little bit relentless, I think, and Cloud9, I think, have secured it. I mean, that Rox.Kis have been looking so strong, they've been making amazing comeback plays, but I think that might be just one step too far there. Godblack going down as well. No more disruptions.
As I mentioned, when they were drafting, that Wraith King can get quite dangerous with a Blink Dagger. He's very unstoppable as well. I mean, what can you do against something like that? What can you do against Reincarnation? And the amount of damage output that Templar Assassin, as well as the Mirana now, have now at the moment, it's going to be very, very hard to stop that.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're going for the second set of rags, which I think traditionally for me is kind of the point of no return. Oh, they're actually just going to back out. I think they could probably have got the ranged rags. Centaur's still down. Yeah, okay, Luna's up, but they've been proving very effectively. They don't need to worry too much about the Luna.
Yeah, but the thing is I think they know that the Luna ult is around. They also know that the Tide ult is also around. So you really don't want to push high ground against that, even if you have the capacity to do that. I mean, no, they don't have the Aegis either. They only have Reincarnation on them. So you might as well back away and farm, and you know, Cloud9 are very good at that. They're very good at taking advantage, farming as much as possible, and then showing up with amazing items and killing everyone on the map, basically.
Nice bit of ancient stack coming out here from Godblack. That will be beautiful food, I would imagine, probably for the Luna. Oh, he actually missed the stack. Me gusta.
Invisibility.
They seem to have again changed the way that the Roshan clock ticks down, but I would think that means we've got between, what's that, about 4.5 and 1.5 minutes before we get our next Rosh popping up.
I mean, yeah, I mean, you notice Rox.Kis are just kind of wandering around, which is, they're not giving the chance for anyone to farm with the exception of Luna, and that's very bad because, you know, I mean, the Centaur is sitting at 113 lost hits, and effectively he hasn't farmed a similar number of items that he did compared to last game, and this game he had kind of the safe lane farm as well.
They have decided to group up, though they're crossing the river, and actually Cloud9 a little bit more spread out in their positioning. They could catch someone here, and if it's Owie, that's huge. But now look at that.
It would
Could not be more hidden
he kind
if he
of sensed
tried.
that. Yeah, he kind of sensed what's going on.
Oh,
I think they
but
know he's somewhere around there.
There's
But
a blink TP. Yeah,
the spider
the
senses
spot where
are
he
tinkling.
was, the spot where he was is being correctly pinged. But yeah, doesn't seem like anything's going to happen from that. TA, just laughing, just popping off. They're still searching. He's gone, bros.
I think they're going to be counter-initiated.
They
They
are.
know what's going on. They're baiting. I think they're baiting.
Tower is under attack.
Oh, there's a blink though coming in from the bat. He's managed to hook someone. It's the Luna. Ouch. Seedoid manages to get Rub Drop just before dying, but Pylai again getting the steal off, and that's a Radiant Ravage. Absolutely huge. And BZZ calling GG. I think that is a. I think that's a fair call.
Yeah.
Lots of DCs
I mean,
suddenly. I'm kind of surprised at that. But among spectators, I mean. But yeah, GG. That was a powerful victory for C9. A lot of people seem to be disconnecting. Meta, you still there?
I'm still here, yes.
Cool beans. Well, any last thoughts before we jump into that third and final lobby?
We'll not make the same mistakes of not putting the right items in Centaur, in my opinion. But then again, I could be wrong. And hopefully we'll see another exciting match as well.
Exactly. Anybody who's watching, please do like, subscribe, and yeah, stay tuned for the next match because it's going to be an epic one. See ya.